Hello, this time we want to start talking about some products, and one of the first products we want to introduce to you is something very interesting. It's called Goldwater. So it's a very expensive product and you can drink it. Andreas, maybe you tell us what this is for.
Gold, first of all, is not very expensive, but it's very effective. It's effective if you have any kind of mood disorders like a depression, or you have a pre-burnout, or even with a burnout, you can have really total relief in most cases so far. Also, we had several people with severe depression and they got total relief within a very short time. You drink it, but you don't drink too much. You take about 2 or 3 of the lids here per day, but only for a few days, and then you can reduce it down to 1 teaspoon. And normally then you will also already have the effect. It's also very effective for rheumatism and energy lackage, if you lack energy, or for people who are not concentrated. That means also kids could take it. Kids with a lot of stress from the school, if they have to pass a test, they can take it. It will also help people with anxiousness and fear. And it's also very effective for people who do not like making decisions. So it's an element, gold. For me, it's a reflector of light, and it helps people finding their path and realizing themselves, really, to recognize your true self in a way.
And it's ionized,
water-soluble.
What?
Water-soluble gold.
In 100 parts per million.
Yes, correct.
And there is another product similar to that, and it's called silver. Well, no, let's go back to this. What is about the price in US dollars?
The price in US dollars would be around $60 per liter.
Okay, so $60 per liter, not that much for what you really can achieve with this water. Another water that is also very, very astonishing is silver water. It comes in the same form, it's just silver, ionized silver in it, but it's a higher parts per million. I think it's 1,000 parts per million of silver. Silver water, maybe you know it, is known also as an antibiotic for many, many years, hundreds of years actually. What do you want to tell us about silver water?
We can get, first of all, we can get all kind of minerals, not only silver, gold, but we can also get manganese, boron, copper, zinc, anything really which is needed for the body we can get in this water-soluble form. Silver, as you said already, is very effective against any kind of viral, bacterial infection. We also give it in case you have a fungus or fungus molds in your body. And this is, by the way, a very important topic we should be talking about, because many people have a fungus and they don't even know about it. So many of the disorders people have, like itchiness or headache or dizziness sometimes, these kind of problems might be that they come from the fungus or the fungus spores. I also had some cases where people, when they go to the hospital, or kids are born, babies, and they catch up a bacteria or any infection, and then they come home and they show the first problems like allergic symptoms. So then very, very often they have bacteria which confuses their immune system, and if you give them silver, very quickly they will be in a totally healthy, you can say. I had several cases. I had also people who were already disabled. They were unable to work because they had a resistant bacteria in their system. And you should, as far as I know, there's no bacteria known or no virus known who could resist the power of silver. So all these people can have great advantage by taking silver. I do not recommend to take colloidal silver. I don't think it, first of all, that effective. I think it can also have some side effects, because one of my customers told me that, and so I'm not anymore convinced of colloidal silver. But this is a very intoxic solution, water-soluble silver, and we have also been testing it. So it's proven that what we show you here is what you get.
But yeah, so the people, I mean, if they have fungus or bacteria in the blood, they go to the doctor. It should be easy to measure them by the doctors and then give them antibiotics. What is your experience with this?
Yeah, my experience is a little bit disappointing, really, because I don't know what these doctors study 8 years. I have no idea how their way of thinking works, because I'm really surprised. Some people, they say to me, yeah, I just went to the clinic and they did some research if I have some fungus or molds. They could not find anything, and I tell them, yes, they are correct, you don't have a mold, but you have parasites in your system. So I wonder, why don't they check out about parasites? They seem to be very limited in their way of thinking. So parasites, we have not discussed that, but I would say about 20% in the Western world have either parasites or any kind of fungus. Some other people, they have infection for decades, some of them. And you can see them just deteriorating over the years. Sometimes some people have it for 40 years and no help in sight. So it's really dramatic. So I don't rely on their so-called scientific analysis system. They don't seem to find the things I find.
We did talk about this in earlier recordings, that he is just using the pendulum to find out if there is anything, a fungus or bacteria in the system.
Yeah.
So, and we did also talk about it, that this is much more sensitive than the known measuring systems we have now in the science.
Just yesterday we had a little seminar, and that was again a very, very good example of how inaccurate the system is. This lady is totally, weak and in a really bad condition, and the doctors tell her all your values, blood values, etc.
They are good.
They are good.
You are healthy.
So this is just ridiculous. I don't know how they can really stand behind such statements they do all the time. But anyway, you see, we have a solution, I can assure you, for almost but for almost every problem. Another thing we should consider is, let's say I had just one case now. She was diagnosed with MS, and it showed me a virus. I had that about 2 or 3 times in my life, that it showed a virus. We had no effect by taking the silver so far. So I had to retest her, because I did only a short testing in the beginning. And then I found out that she sleeps on a bad sleeping place. This is also not very known in all over the world, really. And surprisingly, I don't have the outcome yet, but surprisingly she changed her apartment. She moved from one apartment to the other about 1.5 years ago. And she had her problem started about 1 year ago. So there is quite an interesting time correlation. So we have to see now if there will be a change when she's going to sleep on these tourmaline blankets, because these will strengthen the body system in a whole. So these are interesting things we should really consider. Not everything is so simple. It's not always a bacteria. It's sometimes very complicated. And we have to go really in depth and analyze what's the real problem, what's the real source of your problem. And if we find the source, then in really more than 90% of all the cases, we have dramatic changes within unbelievable short time, few days.